right, so we're still here with Jake at Dude Ranch DIY, and we brought something kind of special for him to check out. So Jake, this is our new 3-point tractor mount log splitter.
This looks pretty cool. This is awesome.
So we've seen all Jake's videos. He's got this nice Kubota tractor, and this is a new product that we've wanted to launch for a while. And we thought, what a great opportunity to come down and Jake knows his way around these machines, and he's got plenty of wood to split. So this would be a fun chance to let him just sort of try it out and let us know what he thinks.
Absolutely. This looks like it could be pretty cool and very maneuverable, especially on more difficult terrain, and just bringing it right to the wood. I'm excited to try it out.
Yeah, so we'll get it hooked up to his tractor. We're going to show a couple different options about hooking it up, and show where a tractor mount splitter like this can be useful. It's not for everybody, but it does have a pretty good use when you've got a lot like this. So let's get her opened up and get it unloaded.
Let's get it unloaded. It is nose heavy.
Should we get your ballast?
We need the ballast box.
Sure. Okay, so Jake's got a ballast bucket that we're going to throw in the back of his tractor just to make sure he just maybe saw the back wheels are lifting up a little bit. So we'll get that mounted up, and then we'll be able to get the splitter out of the back of the truck. All right, so here we've got our TR22 3-point tractor mount log splitter. It's a new product for RuggedMade, and what we're going to be doing today is hooking it up on Jake's tractor here, and we're going to do some interesting things with the hydraulics, as we'll discover. I think let's get started. We'll get it cut off this pallet, get it mounted up to your 3-point, and go from there. So,
all right,
let's get these going. Guys. All right, so Jake, looks like you've got some cool upgrades on your 3-point hitch. Maybe we can talk about that before we get this hooked up.
Yeah, so I have the Pat's Easy Change system here for Category 1 on the back of the tractor, and it's essentially a quick hitch system, but it gives you a little bit more flexibility as opposed to having the rigid 3-point hitch, quick hitch. If you have older implements that might not be quick hitch compatible, this still allows you to adjust the width of your 3-point hitch arms. And I've also upgraded these from the standard turnbuckle that come on the L series tractors to these telescopic ones. So it makes it a lot easier, especially when I'm going from the ballast box to the chipper or to this unit as well. And these Category 1 Pat's Easy Change, have been a game changer. What used to take 2 people to hook up the 800-pound ballast box, now I can do it by myself in 30 seconds. So
yeah, and you probably saw this doesn't weigh all that much. Probably he didn't need the ballast box based on weight, but all the weight was way out on the nose. So far out, yeah. So we went and hooked up the ballast box, and that took just a couple of seconds.
Better safe than sorry.
I guess we're about to find out if RuggedMade's new TR22 is quick hitch compatible. We've definitely had it hooked up to a regular 3-point hitch. So all right, let's see what adjustments we have to make here.
All right, so this one, I guess usually I pop this one out a little bit, and that one can just stay in place. And we'll just kind of eyeball it here, but I'm guessing that's somewhere in that range will be good.
Yeah.
And we'll just pop the cotter pin in.
So you're just basically not wanting to rub the tire.
Exactly, yeah. And there actually is, like if you have a brush hog or something where it does require a little bit of sway, there is this hole here where it will sway back and forth a little bit more, if you hit a rock or something, God forbid.
Okay.
But that looks good. We'll see how my driving skills are.
Yeah. I think the pallet put it at just the right height to grab it.
Yeah, hopefully. Okay.
So it looks like the left side might even want to come inboard a little more.
I think so. Might have gone a little too far. So, let me pop this out. And go
Nice.
in. And yeah, we were just one hole too far.
All right.
So now to secure those in place, I'm just gonna pop these little tabs out
That's
and lock
nice.
them, pop it, and lock it. Pop, lock, and drop it.
Excellent.
Now we can do our top link. You know
So we may
what?
want to lower it a
I
little
think I
more to
might
level
need
it
to
out.
Lower it more, yeah. You know, I think it's the weight of it, honestly. We might need to
Oh, I gotcha.
push down. Or take it off. Let's see.
So the hydraulics can't force it down, they can only gravity feed it down?
Yeah, I don't have down pressure.
Okay.
That is something I could add, but haven't
Yep.
done yet.
So what if I stand on it? Will that
Yeah,
balance it
we
out
can-
maybe?
Watch your fingers. There we go. It's getting
They're just
a
coming
little
down?
bit. Yeah, little by little.
Does that have much more throw in it?
I don't know. Let's see. We can max
The
it
other thing
out
we could probably
for
do
sure.
is block up the nose a little bit,
Think.
take some of the weight off of the lower two connections.
Okay. Why don't we try that?
I don't think there's a shortage of blocks of wood here.
No. Here. This one we can kind of
Also
span
got
it.
these blocks too.
So, 1, 2, 3.
That didn't go too well. Let's try that. That looks more
All right,
level.
That should be able. Now we're too long. That's good.
Let me get this out of the way.
There we go. Halfway. So close. One more time.
All right. What do we got for blocks? We got this guy.
1, 2, 3. Oh, 2, 3.
Just a little more. Maybe now if we step on it a bit.
Yeah, I think we could probably get it. There we go. All right,
just as
we're
our-
in.
lock down.
Okay.
All right, so we got it hooked up.
Definitely a little tough, I think, because the driveway is on a hill.
Yeah.
So the tractor's downhill. And this is obviously the heaviest part, I'd imagine, of the splitter, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you get spoiled with bobcats and the front end loader of a tractor.
Yeah.
Force
Well-
stuff down. This is all gravity.
They never said hooking up a 3-point was easy.
No.
They just made it a little bit easier.
I think we made it harder than it had to be, but you know.
Well,
so now with the turnbuckle, with the top link, we can adjust our level, right?
Yeah. So, let's see. Why don't I pick it up a little bit
Yeah.
and see?
Yeah, that looks good. Actually, pretty close
That's
to level.
pretty
Maybe
good.
when we get off the hill, we'll adjust it a little more.
Yeah.
All right.
But we're in the air, so.
All right, so get this out of here. Looks like it already split its first batch of wood.
Yeah, look at that. We didn't even have to break a sweat.
Magic.
All right, so what's the next step here, Jared?
Well, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about how we came up with this. Again, it's one of the reasons it's so great to come down and hang out with you and hear more about the kind of splitting you do and how you're using the other machine you have. We've had feedback of people who, they maybe have a tractor and they maybe don't split all day every day. They're not heavy commercial users, but they want to have a splitter and they don't necessarily want to have another standalone machine with another engine, another pump and hydraulic fluid and all that. They just want to be able to utilize their tractor. Now, as we get into, we'll see what we're going to be using for the hydraulics, because you may have auxiliary hydraulics, may not, may have a PTO driven pump. We're going to be doing something kind of interesting today, as you'll see, where I think we're going to be hooking up to maybe your loader hydraulic circuit.
So because I don't have a backhoe or any other hydraulically driven implements off the back of the tractor, I don't have any rear remote reservoirs where you would typically hook up a backhoe or this machine to. So My chipper is hydraulically driven, but it's off the PTO. It has its
PTO.
own pump.
Gotcha.
So I kind of avoided that there. But today I think our best option would be to hook up to one of the functions of the loader.
Yep.
And while we're splitting, I'll just hold that loader valve or bungee cord it in the open position to allow constant flow for the splitter. And fingers crossed, I think it should work.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little fun today, kind of improvise a little bit, but I think this is somewhat realistic for some folks who, they may end up with a PTO-driven pump if they don't already have the auxiliary hydraulics, or they may end up doing what we're gonna be doing today, and just, when they're operating this, maybe they're not running their loader, and we'll make it work.
Yeah, definitely.
And what we've got here are some extra hoses to make sure we can reach. The two hoses that come standard with the machine are really meant ideally to get to either remote hydraulics here or a PTO-driven pump. But we brought some extensions that should get us all the way up front. And then a few other things. So this is a TR22. It is essentially, if you've ever seen our 322, our 300 series splitter, it's basically just that splitter minus the tank, the wheels, the pump, and the engine. So it just comes as a more basic kit from the beam, the valve, the push plate, and the four-way blade. That's all standard part of the kit. And then this subframe is where the 3-point connection comes in. It's designed for Cat 1, as we've hooked up to your tractor. Compact tractors have just taken over. I mean, why not have a compact tractor these days?
Right.
But for something a little bigger, I think it goes 20 to 50 horse is Cat 1, then maybe 50 to 90 horse, I think is Cat 2. So it'll handle those two sizes.
Yeah, I like how you have them staggered right here, so it's nice and easy.
Yeah.
One thing I am noticing is we should probably put these linch pins in.
Yes, safety first.
Just for safety's sake.
Go grab that other one.
All right, now that we know it's not going to go anywhere.
All right, so now should we see how things are going to work out with the hydraulics?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
I guess our first plan or option one would be to hook it up to the actual loader function.
Yep.
So I'm going to release all of the pressure on the loader, just so that it makes it easy.
Yep. Yeah. Now these are all pretty standard agricultural quick disconnects. Now these don't come standard with the splitter because I think, as we're seeing here, everyone's going to have maybe a little different situation, and not everybody's even going to want to use quick disconnects. But for an implement that you might only use here and there, it does certainly make the connecting and disconnecting easy.
Right.
But pretty much we'll leave that to the folks to hook up as they see fit. The standard connection is pretty much just the hose end, JIC 37-degree fitting. We've got 1/2 inch on the high pressure inside, and we've got 3/4 on the 3/4 inch low pressure return side. But for today, we've got agricultural connectors here, and then these are the extensions I rigged up. We actually got really close even without these.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how far those lines do travel. I guess different tractors have different size arms and stuff like that.
Yeah. So these ends we'll just hook up as extensions to our existing hoses, and then we did these as 90s. The idea being they might connect up a little cleaner without having to make some crazy big loop.
Absolutely.
But depending on what we hook it up to, we may have a size issue. So
yeah. So
why
let's.
don't we get the camera over here? We can see our options here, and maybe you can walk us through the difference between these different connections.
Yeah. So essentially, on my tractor, since I have a grapple attachment for the front of it, I've added the third function valve, which are these two. And just judging by the size, they look pretty comparable.
Yeah.
Our initial plan was to hook up to one of the loader function valves.
So that's your lift arms or your bucket tilt?
Right, the curl or lift arm. Okay. And these, just by looking at it, look to be a little bit smaller. But I'm going to go ahead and detach one of these.
Yeah.
I'm not
now
exactly
that's on me.
sure.
Jake did give me some dimensions before I came down, and I guess I don't follow directions so well, so I came down with oversized connectors.
Yeah, so those are a little bit too big.
Yeah. We might have some leakage if we went with that one.
I think so. But now I think we should be able to pop this.
Now these are
Release the
cone
pressure.
connectors, so they should mate up pretty well with that style. There's also the ball style.
Okay, let me release the pressure in the third function. And now, let's see if we're able to get this on.
There we go.
All There we go, that's one.
All right, so score 1 for industry standardization.
Yes.
As long as you get
That's
the
a
right
win.
size. All right, so that's
Now
Yep.
we got this. And that's on there.
All right. So just tell us again what kind of flow rate we might be able to expect here, approximately,
So
compared to the other connections.
from what I was told by the dealer, the third function valve is probably the most restrictive flow on the tractor because all it's really designed to do is open and close the grapple. So it doesn't take a lot of flow to do that, which is why I think we were aiming to try and hook up to the loader valves, because they do require a little bit more flow to get all of that pressure, you know, to be able to lift and curl and stuff. So I think they said we might be looking at about 3 to 4 gallons per minute out of this, and we're gonna have to hold the button open on the third function valve buttons here on my loader control lever. But I'm glad that they hooked up as easily as they did, and I'll be interested to see how it performs, you know, on the log splitter side of things.
Yeah, I think one of the most common questions we get, whether it's about this design, because again, this came from input from customers asking for this, but the people want to ask about flow rate. Now, if it's one of our machines that comes with a pump, we can tell folks exactly what the flow rate is. If this was a fully fleshed out 322 with its pump, it's a 13 gallon per minute pump. It's also available with a 16 gallon per minute pump. So people want to know cycle times. Well, this is going to be very tractor dependent, what hydraulic system you got it hooked up to. So I'm guessing, since this isn't really meant for continuous use, we may not want to run it too long off of that circuit, and we're probably not going to see blistering cycle times. And so maybe we'll come back later if we can get some different size connectors and hook it up to the higher flow connections. But let's fire it up while we've got it hooked up.
Okay, let's see what we got going
plenty of
on
hose
here.
length here. So how do you want to route these?
Yeah, why don't we give this a little slack, and we can do.
We could probably feed it through there a couple times to tighten it up.
Go up and around, get it out of the way, and then something like this.
Yeah, so nothing's dragging. That looks good.
Okay.
Grab this one. Okay. Those look secure.
Those are hooked up. And now I think I'll turn it on, and we're gonna have to hit one of the buttons, and then maybe you can test the lever and see if we got any movement.
I'm just gonna grab some iPro before we fire it up.
Great.
Louie, what's up, buddy? You get your ball? Hi. Hi. Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. Can I see your ball? Can I see it? There you go. Boy, bud. While you were gone, Louie took over and did a really good job. So.
New assistant.
Yeah, he's in.
Pretty soon.
Key grip.
Yeah, pretty soon I'll be having him stack the firewood for me. He loves picking up sticks. Okay, so let's give this a shot.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, so, yeah, if you want to hold that down.
I'm going to start out holding out both buttons, I guess, because both circuits would need to be open, I'm assuming.
Right, open loop.
So, here we go.
Let's see what we got. Nothing yet.
Try that.
Nope. There we go. So there's probably some air in the line.
Let me rev it up a little bit. Go ahead. Yeah, that seems like air to me.
Yeah. So we'll see if your system is self-purging.
Yeah, should be.
There, it's picking up the pace.
Yeah, I hear the air. Oh, got a slight leak.
Got a little bit of leak. So
I think that was just the air coming out.
Yeah. Now, the out and the back are both working with the lever forward, so I think it depends on which button you press.
Okay.
So that's, I would say, reverse function as far as this valve's concerned, because it really should be going back in this mode.
Okay.
So what did you switch?
So let me hit both of them.
That's also backwards. There we go. So you'll keep that button in. Okay, so that would be the typical extend retract orientation.
So we're gonna have to keep the top
D10
button pressed.
looks like it's working.
Okay, cool.
So,
now, I'm curious, if I rev it up, will it go any faster?
Let's see. You know, that's not all that much slower than it would be with a two-stage log splitter pump. A bit. So I think to get the detent going, we'd probably need a little adjustment. Yeah, you want to show me which button you're holding down?
I'm holding down this top button right here.
Yeah, you want to give it a go?
Sure. All right. This is pretty cool.
Yeah. You can throw a log on there if you want.
Yeah, let's try it. Splits wood.
Seems to work. So before we keep going, this is a brand new machine, so it looks like we got a little bit of leaks we want to tidy up before we keep going. All right, so we're going to see if we got the couple of leaks that sprung up taken care of. Let's fire it up.
Okay.
I'll run the solenoid if you want to run the splitter.
Well, we should be good since we put a rubber band around there.
Yeah,
so
this is very high tech.
Yeah, very high tech. Let's hope that the rubber band isn't too dry rotted and doesn't snap off.
Yeah.
But we got a leak here.
That's even more than before.
That's a big leak.
Yeah.
So let's shut that off.
So our agriculture quick connects on this side are not sealing well. Might be the size seems to match, but it could be two different manufacturers. Connections don't mate up. It could be that they're not the same standard.
Yeah, and I guess this would be something, if you were hooking it up to a tractor kind of like this without a rear remote valve, you could definitely potentially run into this issue.
Yeah.
You'd have to make sure that your, couplers are the same. So
and it definitely it explains partly why the splitter by itself wouldn't normally come with connections. It's really
Absolutely.
up to the operator to figure out what's going to work on their machine.
So what is weird?
It looks like it did chew up. It might have chewed up one of the inner seals.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Because the other one is not leaking.
Piece, right, and that's the second piece of rubber that I pulled out of there. I thought it was off of this black little lip here, but I think it's actually the O-ring that went bad.
Yeah, now I did bring a goodie bag, and I'm just going to go check and see if I have one more of these. All right, so I don't think either of us are any stranger to improvising, so I did bring an extra fitting in my goodie bag and didn't expect to need it, but I think we're going to need it. So why don't we get this puppy taped up? And I got seal tape, got some wrenches, and we'll get this leak sorted out.
All right, let's do it.
All right, grab these, get some wrenches.
It's a good thing you brought this. Always be prepared.
Always be prepared. Extra fittings, who'd have thunk? All right, so we've got to relieve the pressure, right, before we take this puppy off?
Yes, so let's hook this back up. And we'll turn on the key. Okay, looks like we should be good. Yeah. Okay, we got some flow coming out, so I think the pressure should be released.
All right.
And we can go from there.
So I think, let's see, if you want to do this on the connector itself, I'll hold the elbow static. You're going to be going down, I guess.
Yes. All right, here we go.
All right, should have it now.
There we go.
Nothing like a little field repair.
Oh yeah, happens all the time. Okay.
So I'll get some this tape off. Nothing staged here.
Nope.
Dude Ranch DIY, all about authenticity.
That's where the do-it-yourself comes in.
Absolutely. Yeah. Jake's been around. Nope, that's the end of the tape. I think we got just enough.
I got more if need be.
I think we're going to be...
Let's hope that this will be good, though.
All right.
Okay, and that's the new fitting.
Yep. It's
Okay.
got the optional complete seal.
Yeah.
Upgraded.
I hear they charge more for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So now I'll be
think I'm
going
ready.
up.
All right. So
Now,
let's give it a whirl.
let's see what we got here. Okay,
All right. Moment of truth.
so that's on. Now we can fire it up, put our
Ah, yes.
high-tech rubber band on here to keep this open. That's on
Not
there
every
like
solution,
that.
every problem has to be high tech.
Yeah, sometimes keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So let's see if that actuator, that solenoid is actually working. Yeah, I got flow, I got travel here, so I think we solved our
Okay.
leak problem.
Yeah, let
One of
me
the two.
rev it
And,
up a little bit. How's
yeah.
that looking over there, Jared?
Looking good for now. Yeah, let's throttle up and split one.
All right.
All right. Yep, I think we're good up here as well. All right.
All right. Seems to be good. We're leak free.
Yeah. So I think we got it hooked up. I mean, I think that solenoid valve, may not be a long-term solution, but really the purpose of this was just to, bring it down, let Jay kind of try it out, mix up some of the splitting he's doing with the other machine, and give us some feedback. As I said, it's a new product for us, and I think it's going to work for a lot of people depending on their situation. And we just look
Definitely.
forward to hearing what you think.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to try it out. So I think it's about time we head down to the woodyard and start cutting up some rounds and send them through.
All right.
See how it does.
All right. Let's
All
do it.
right.
All right, well, we had a couple of hiccups getting it, getting the hydraulics connected, but other than that, it seems like it handled the wood pretty well.
Yeah, it absolutely did. I'm impressed with it. The way that we have it hooked up and everything, the fact that I don't have rear hydraulic remotes, I was anticipating it going much slower than it did.
Yep.
So that, surprised me, and it's a great, machine. It split everything we put in front of it. We filled up, maybe about a third of a tote here in a couple minutes, and 4-way wedge is obviously a big help and speeds things up. But I think all in all, this machine definitely has its place in the RuggedMade family.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. Obviously you need a tractor, but I think it definitely has its place in the lineup as far as productivity and ease and maneuverability and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody who's got a machine like we're going to be using in a minute to split the rest of this. But they've got the tractor, and it certainly makes getting it to the woodlot pretty easy, and then bringing it back, maybe dropping it in a barn where it can stay out of the weather. And then cycle times, again, they're really going to vary. So the way we've got it hooked up right now probably isn't a good long-term solution, but it suffices for just kind of getting a feel for it. And then down the road, we'll probably try a few different things. Maybe we'll try a PTO pump, which is what a lot of people would use to power this. Or we'll try a couple different connectors, maybe hook it up to one of the loader functions, and maybe get a little boost in flow rate and use a circuit that's meant for continuous use.
Right, yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention is that I was running the tractor RPM-wise around 2,500, which is like 540 PTO speed. So for those of you with tractors, I'm sure you're familiar with running it at 540. So just to give you like a control almost of where we were with the RPMs and the speed that we got out of it.
Yeah, and we're also not, I'm not familiar with this tractor, so I don't know exactly what the pressure coming out of that particular circuit is.
Right.
So we weren't using the D10, as you probably noticed. So when we maybe try it on a different circuit, we can do, it's an adjustable D10 log splitting valve. So we could probably just dial that in for that pressure, so we can take advantage of that. And then it would be pretty much good to go.
Yeah, I think that would, speed it up too, the whole process.
Yeah.
If you didn't have to hold it, going back.
So that was fun, but I think we still have a lot of wood to split here, so we're gonna move back to the big brother and power through the rest of this. Fill some totes, and then call it a day.
Yeah, let's do it.